My name's Randy Hollerith. I'm rector of St. James's Episcopal Church, and Bethel Harbor is not next door to us. We're next door to Bethel Harbor. And St. James's is a fairly large Episcopal church, and we've been involved with Caritas. I've been there 13 years, and we were involved with Caritas well before my arrival at St. James's, and it is one of the top 5 most important ministries at our parish as far as importance to the members of our congregation. They love their involvement with Caritas, and it's done quite a bit, selfishly, it's done quite a bit for our members, and it's a great organization for us to work with. We're an intake site. We're currently finishing up our intake months, so I think you pick it up right from us the next several months. And we also, every year, are a host site. And we've done families and women and men, depending whatever the organization needs. As a matter of fact, in 2008, we added 30,000 additional square feet to our physical plant. We had a big capital campaign to build a whole new building and renovate some space. And one of the most important things to people was that we made sure we had some, not necessarily completely dedicated space for Caritas, but some good, accessible, bright, nice space to host Caritas. To the extent that the congregation wanted to add, we have no showers in the place except for the showers we built for the Caritas space. It meant that much to the congregation to do that. And I know the needs of the homeless in the city of Richmond are changing, and organizations have to adjust to that. And you've got a partner in St. James's who was eager to continue to partner with Caritas in whatever way we can be helpful. But I just want to say that as a pastor whose job is not only the well-being of the church, but also the sort of spiritual journeys of people within that congregation. A lot of people come to St. James's because of the DNA of the place, which is derived from that verse written over our altar, which is, "Be doers of the word and not hearers only." Folks come to St. James's because they know of our engagement in the city and our interest in social justice and issues around the poor. And so they come to St. James's and they want to be involved in these things. I'm not sure what people's experience is, but within my little slice of Christendom, folks are not interested in congregations for doctrinal reasons in any way, shape, or form. They're interested in congregations that are living out their faith, that are putting their faith out into the world in action. And so Caritas has always been a profound way of plugging people into a beginning experience of what it means to live one's faith. You know, when you're a host site and you have the guests within your church, it is a safe place to introduce someone to ministry to the other, you know, to the poor, to the homeless, to those who are in need. And it is from that jumping off point that so many people have gotten much more involved in the city and so many other places. It's whenever we host, it's the thing that fills up the quickest. You know, we make the announcement, put the sheet out there, and people jump at it. It's oftentimes the first exposure are children, who many of them come from that very comfortable sort of West End enclave. And it's the first experience they have of, especially when we have families present, of being with other children who are without a home, and being there and serving and cooking dinner and playing games and interacting with the guests. And that's been transformative for many of them as well. So Caritas has been a huge piece of who we are at St. James's, and something very important to the congregation over the years.
I have to add one thing to Randy. When we do the thing every year called the Feast, and I don't know how many years it was before the whole renovation.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the things, they came and interviewed me about what I would like to see happen at St. James's in regards to Caritas, and that I had an opportunity to say, I'd love for you to become an intake site, and that ended up happening after the space was renovated, which was really kind of cool. And in that time, I ended up started to go to church there as well. So, and Wayne, you guys did some interesting things this year, and I know you brought some some things. I don't know if you wanted to talk about some of the deepening partnership that we were doing over the last few months. If you wanted to touch
Sure.
on
Which,
that.
well, we did a number of different things, one of which we created a little thing like this, and I've got examples, you can take them with you if you wish. And if you want, I actually brought some information, you can pass it around.
Really prepared.
Glad you asked.
Try. We did this as an event to get the whole church involved, and it was a matter of trying to raise money, for it. So we created a little box like this, but what we did is, and I think you should have an insert in there that actually shows a calendar that, let's see if I can find it, we actually updated it, because ours looked like this when we first did it. It was the month of September is when we did it, and every day of the week you have an activity you can do with your children where you can actually go and count the number of windows you have in your house and put 10 cents in for every window. Or count the number of doors and put 50 cents, or how many trees you have in your backyard. All the time thinking about people who are homeless don't have that. And so you take that, put it in your bank, and then bring it at the end of the month and on. But what we did is we changed it a little bit so it looks a little nicer now. And that should be inside. And we did it in such a way that it's not month indicative, so it's just day 1, 2, 3, 4, 30. So it could be any month that you want to do that. We thought it was a good way for families to be involved, where you can talk about it at the dining table, or at night. Oh, well, what did you think about how many houses some of people even how many houses, but how many windows you have, how many doors, and people that don't have that. So we decided to try that this year. The other thing we did was we did the pack to truck. We used your truck. We also used your storage unit at the quadruple A because we filled the truck. And then we ended up filling the unit because we got enough furniture in one weekend to fill both. So we made this up, and then there's also an example in there for you of a blank that looks like this. And we actually created and sent it to one of you, I can't remember, Karen, to you, so that it could be used by anybody. So that the part that we put in here with our dates and times on the truck could be put into the blank space of this one, so that anybody could use it. And the most needed pieces are in the back. So it would make that a little bit easier for you if you wanted to try to do that. We had a Sunday school class of ladies who decided they were going to do this for the whole church. And so they are the ones who spearheaded that, and that was their project. And so that we've done that multiple times before with the pods and other issues. Occasionally I have people that, grandma's moving and she's going to assisted living, and what are we going to do with all this furniture? And I say, call me up or whatever, and I'll meet you and get you to the storage unit, and they just take it right to the storage unit. Great way to get people involved. And I've been interesting that people are starting to pick up on it. They understand that this is an option now. And so now all of a sudden I'm getting phone calls. Can we do this? Or what do I do with? And that kind of stuff. The other thing we picked up from you guys was hosting a shower. And we're encouraging some of our adult classes to do this at Christmas time, where they're trying to find somebody they can help for Christmas. They say, a lot of people are really getting help well at Christmas. It's the rest of the year that they don't. So would you consider doing a shower? And so the shower has a list on the back of different types of showers that you can have, whether it be a kitchen shower or a pantry or a linens or something like that type of shower. And your Sunday school class get together and bring those items and have it at your Christmas party, gather it up, and then we'll make sure you get it to Caritas. So we made this up as well so that it could be reused by Caritas any way that you wish. So we're in the process of doing that. We're getting some classes to express interest in wanting to do that. See if I got the same one. There's also one in there that's a blank that kind of does the same thing. If there's a space right in here where you can add your church information, but you have a copy of what we put in there in case you want to look at it. There's also this piece that we created, which was an invitation, so that if you wanted to have a shower in your neighborhood, and you would invite your neighbors to come, and we're gonna have a kitchen shower, so bring some things, and it's all gonna go to the homeless. And so you can, just like you can do a baby shower, or something like that, and so you invite people to come and bring it, and at the same time, you can share with them what Caritas is, and what Caritas is about. And so we're finding that to be an interesting piece, and a few people have picked up on doing that, and we hope that that will accelerate with time. So there's a few of the things that we've done this year that are a little different from what we've done, and some of that's a response from you guys. You know, just can we do that? And we do have a graphics designer in our office, so she helps with all the neat stuff and makes it look nice. But anyway, those are just examples of ways that, you know, we're trying to do some things that are a little different that will help in those areas. We haven't gotten into the Works program, like I said earlier, or into the Healing Place. At some point in time, maybe that will happen, but we're just concentrating on those two pieces right now. The other thing we're trying to do is we're reorganizing and trying to think. We've had a team in our missions ministry that deals with Caritas, but it's only the shelter program, and it's well organized. It's, you know, like oiled machinery, and it just works great. But now it's all of a sudden, how do we reorganize to touch base with the different aspects of what Caritas does, so we can pull in more leaders, and how do we do that? That's our next challenge for next year, is trying to get more leadership to correlate with what your organization is. So we try to, yeah.
Are you finding that some of these other ideas involve a different set of people than when you were just really doing the shelter program? And I'm trying to get at, are the same people just doing more, or is this broadening your group of people?
Well, what we did is we established a whole different team of people for this 1 year. Their responsibility is homelessness and hunger. How do we get the church involved in at least 30 activities through the year? We ended up with over 100 different activities through the year as a result of that. Their leadership ends at the end of the year, but our missions ministry has to assume the new responsibility and correlation. And we're in the process of trying to reorganize to incorporate more aspects of homelessness and hunger from now on. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So they work like crazy trying to make these things happen and involve more people, but we found that there's a greater exposure in the church. And all of a sudden now our different ministries are coming to the missions ministry and say, what can we do? How do we get involved? Our problem has always been, people have tons of good ideas. They've seen lots of great things going on, but it's never been focused. And because of our concerted effort toward homelessness and hunger for this year, all of a sudden different ministries, our rec ministry is saying, what can we do? Our children's ministry is saying, what can we do? What can we do in different aspects of ministry? And now all of a sudden it's becoming a little more directed and focused. And that's what we want to see more of. How can we work better with you to accomplish the task of taking care of the homeless issues of Richmond, or greater Richmond area, and see these people no longer homeless, to get to the other side. And we're seeing progress in the Richmond area, and what's happening among the different organizations, and we're kind of not totally involved. We're watching it happen, and we can see the collaborative effort of different organizations beginning. And what we're hoping to do is take that and learn from it and incorporate it into the Mechanicsville piece as well. So we're not just working in Richmond, we're working with homelessness and hunger and issues like that in the Mechanicsville area, because we're light years behind. Okay, so I'm watching, seeing what's going on in the Richmond area, if you will. How are you doing it? How can we take some of those best practices and incorporate them into Mechanicsville and change what Mechanicsville is doing? It's a big picture and it's crazy and my mind's going really wild. But we have a lot of people that are really excited about it because they're really seeing something that is making a difference. So thank you for your direction and for what you're doing and for helping us to learn.
Questions? It's interesting, Carol Aiken helped us develop the work